From Convention Hall in Atlantic City, the Miss America Pageant. Presented by Philco, famous for quality the world over. Philco, manufacturer of electronics and appliances for the home, for government, and for industry. And by Oldsmobile, in behalf of Oldsmobile quality dealers everywhere, who remind you, now's the best time to make the best buy on a 1960 Oldsmobile. And by the Tony Company, the greatest name in home beauty. Tony, world leader in hair research.
Good evening, everybody. Coast to coast, Douglas Edwards reporting from Atlantic City, New Jersey, where the final night of the Miss America pageant is now getting underway. The theme of this year's pageant is the ageless fairy tale of Cinderella, very charmingly reenacted this week in the first few days and again tonight in the actions of some very talented and beautiful young ladies, 54 of them. From the 50 states, from Canada, from the District of Columbia, and the cities of New York and Chicago, they've come to compete for the crown, which, before the night is over, will belong to Miss America of 1961. A short while before we went on the air, the 10 semi-finalists in this year's competition were introduced to this capacity audience of 25,000 here at Convention Hall. Now waiting just off stage to introduce them to you is my very charming and lovely companion for the evening, Miss Marilyn Vandiver, Miss America 1958. Marilyn.
Thank you, Doug. Good evening, everyone. These are the girls for whom the Cinderella story may still become a reality. In less than 2 hours from now, one of them will find that the crown for Miss America of 1961 fits her perfectly. Alphabetically, according to state, they are Miss Alabama,
Teresa Rinaldi,
Miss California,
Suzanne Remo,
Miss District of Columbia,
Ruth Ray,
Miss Idaho,
Marlene Coleman,
Miss Indiana,
Tommy Glaze,
Miss Massachusetts,
Brenda Provo,
Miss Michigan,
Nancy Ann Fleming,
Miss North Carolina,
Ann Harris,
Miss South Carolina,
Sandra Browning,
and Miss Utah.
Darian Walker.
And our very best wishes go with them tonight. Right now, Doug, the 10 semi-finalists are joining the other contestants on stage for the traditional Parade of States, so I'll turn the microphone over to you.
Thank you, Marilyn. You know, the Parade of States is a richly deserved tribute to all the contestants. More than 50,000 girls took part, as a matter of fact, in this Miss America pageant. So let's now switch down to the stage and our master of ceremonies, Bert Park.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All this week, we have been retelling a fairy tale, a story of magic and beauty that has been reenacted here in Atlantic City almost annually since 1921. I'm to be assisted by 4 lovely young ladies who have lived this happy and rewarding year that has given the heroine of our story. First, Leanne Merriweather, Miss America 1955. Sharon Ritchie, Miss America 1956. Marion McKnight, Miss America 1957. Marianne Mobley, Miss America 1959. There they are.
Chosen to compete in the Miss America pageant is indeed a great honor. Therefore, these lovely young ladies are reigning queens of a special world of beauty, talent, and charm. Salute, therefore, America's reigning queens as they pass in review. Miss Alabama.
Chicago,
Miss Colorado,
Miss Connecticut,
Miss Delaware,
Miss District of Columbia, Miss Idaho.
Miss Illinois. Miss Indiana. Miss Iowa.
Miss Kansas.
Miss Kentucky. Miss Louisiana. Miss Maine.
Miss Maryland.
Miss Massachusetts. Miss Michigan. Miss Minnesota.
Miss Mississippi.
Miss Missouri. Miss Montana. Miss Nebraska.
Miss Nevada.
Miss New Hampshire. Miss New Jersey. Miss New Mexico.
Miss New York City.
Miss New York State. Miss North Carolina. Miss North Dakota.
Miss Ohio.
Miss Oklahoma.
Miss Oregon.
Miss Pennsylvania.
Miss Rhode Island.
Miss South Carolina. Miss South Dakota. Miss Tennessee. Miss Texas. Miss Utah. Miss Vermont. Miss Virginia.
Miss Washington.
Miss West Virginia. Miss Wisconsin. And Miss Wyoming.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen, the Royal Honor Roll of the 1960 Miss America Pageant.
I think this might be a good time, Doug, to explain to our viewers just how the 10 semi-finalists were chosen.
Right, Marilyn. Well, all 54 of the girls competed in 3 categories. In the first 2, the evening gown and the swimsuit, the judges were asked to pick 5 girls, giving their first choice 5 points, their second choice 4 points, and so on. In the third category, which is talent, however, the same procedure was followed, except at this time, the judge's first choice received 10 points, second choice 8 points, and so on. In other words, talent is twice as important as the other 2 categories.
And let's not forget, Doug, that personality and poise count very heavily in the ratings the girls receive in each of the categories. Incidentally, the scoring system that Doug just outlined tonight is the same one used at the Miss America preliminary pageants at both local and state levels. In the semifinal competition tonight, the judges will continue to score the same categories. We'll see the girls in evening gowns right after we hear from Lee Phillip with some new ideas in hairstyling.
Charming, in the person of Jacques d'Amboise, star of the New York City Ballet, begins his search for the fairest of the fair. In keeping with the reunion year of the Miss America pageant, the girls in the cameo frames are Barbara Walker, Miss America of 1947, Jackie Mercer, Miss America of 1949, and Evelyn A., Miss America of 1954. Linda Meade will soon be along. Miss America, 1960.
And now presenting in evening gowns, Teresa Rinaldi, Miss Alabama.
Teresa is wearing a white silk damask sheath with a wide sweeping skirt.
If Miss Alabama wins, she'll be the
Suzanne
second Miss
Marie
America.
Remo, Miss California.
Suzanne is wearing a beautiful floor-length dress of white satin with a jeweled bodice.
She attends San Diego State University, where she's a sophomore.
Ruth Ray, Miss District of Columbia.
Ruth's dress has a cherry red velvet bodice, corded sash, and corded narrow straps.
The first Miss America, Margaret Gorman, also was from the District of Columbia.
Ray Coleman, Miss Idaho.
Marlene's dress is of heavy satin with a controlled flared skirt.
It's a long trip for her. She's never been further away from home than 200 miles. Lots of boys.
Tommy Lou Blaze, Miss Indiana.
Miss Indiana is wearing a white evening gown with bouffant skirt, heart-shaped bodice, and shoestring straps.
And is a senior at Indiana University.
Brenda Cobo, Miss Massachusetts.
Brenda's lovely dress is made of white satin. It has a full skirt, beaded top, and contour front.
Nancy Ann Fleming, Miss Michigan.
Nancy looks radiant in a white embroidered porte-soie gown with a strapless bodice.
She's very popular here, as you can hear from the applause.
Ann Barrington Herring, Miss North Carolina.
Anne's beautiful dress is made of white cotton with a bell-shaped skirt and a V-back.
20 years of beauty.
Edith Sandra Browning, Miss South Carolina.
Edith is wearing a white formal gown with a hand-clipped Chantilly lace panel over white, covered with seed pearls.
Marion Faye Walker, Miss Utah.
Marion's gown of white porte-soie has a scoop neck with a fitted bodice and appliques of lace over a full skirt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 10 semifinalists in evening gown. Let's hear it for them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting America's Cinderella, the young lady who has reigned so graciously over the realm of Miss America and the Royal Reunion Pageant, Linda Lee Meade, Miss America of 1960.
City, for she may turn out to be
She is Linda Mead, Miss America 1960, looking every inch the heroine of the Cinderella fairy tale.
There she is, your ideal, with so many beauties. She took the town by storm with her all-American face and form, and there she is, walking on air. There is some affair. Miss America.
Marilyn, doesn't it seem a shame that for Linda the hour of midnight is drawing so close?
In a way it does, Doug. But I also know that the magic of being a Miss America never entirely departs. It's really a part of you for the rest of your life. I think you'll understand what I mean when we get a chance to meet some Miss Americas of other years. But before we do, here's something new about hairstyling.
Of our fairy tale, which we are recounting tonight. Our heroine had a fairy godmother who directed her fate and assured her good fortune. In like manner, the treasure chest of scholarships and talent awards, which are the heart of the Miss America pageant, is presided over by a gracious lady to whom the happiness and well-being of every participant in the Miss America pageant is of deep personal concern. She is the executive director of the Miss America pageant, Miss Lenora Slaughter.
This week in Atlantic City, we are holding the first reunion of our sorority, Mu Alpha Sigma. The people of our resort have had the pleasure of welcoming back many hundreds of lovely ladies who have competed in our Miss America competitions in the past. I only wish that we could present each of these girls to you this evening, as well as their handsome husbands and families. I would like to say, however, to you, our royal guest, and to the contestants over the country who are listening to this telecast this evening, that no matter when you participated in our pageant, no matter what part of the country you came from, we are grateful to you for the part you played in building the event. And we hope that you will always cherish the place you hold in its history. Please know that you have the eternal affection of the people of Atlantic City and my own deep personal regard and gratitude. And now, ladies and gentlemen of America, it is my privilege to present to you the members of your royal family who are gathered here this week to take part in the ceremonies leading to the coronation of a new queen. First of all, may I present Margaret Gorman, Miss America 1921. Ruth Malcolmson, Miss America 1924. Marion Bergeron, Miss America 1933. Marilyn Mesky, Miss America 1938. Patricia Donnelly, Miss America 1939. Frances Burt, Miss America 1940. Barbara Jo Walker, Miss America 1947. Phoebe Schott, Miss America 1948. Jackie Mercer, Miss America 1949. Evelyn A., Miss America 1954. Lee Merriweather, Miss America 1955. Sharon Ritchie, Miss America 1956. Marion McKnight, Miss America 1957. finalists, and I tell it, Rap Booth, lovely Marilyn Vanderburg, Miss America 1958.
Well, now I know what you mean, Marilyn. Part of the magic of being Miss America seems to be eternal beauty and charm.
Thank you, kind sir. You know, Doug, I have a hunch there is at least one other man here tonight who would agree with you. He's the popular singer Don Cherry, better known in Atlantic City as the husband of Sharon Ritchie, Miss America of 1956. Right now, with the help of Jacques d'Amboise and Linda Mead, he will introduce the semi-finalists in their swimsuit presentation.
Wait till you see her, see how she looks. Wait till you hear her laugh. Painters of paintings, writers of books, never could tell the half. Wait till you feel the warmth of her glance, pensive and sweet and wise. All of it lovely, all of it thrilling. I'll never be willing to free her. When you see her, you won't believe your eyes.
Linda Mead, Miss America, is standing in a replica of the Miss America trophy.
All of it lovely, all of it thrilling. I'll never be willing to free her. When you see her, you won't believe your eyes.
Presenting in swimsuits, Risa Rinaldi, Miss Alabama. Suzanne Marie Remo, Miss California. District of Columbia. Marlene Ray Coleman, Miss Idaho. Indiana. Brenda Crowell, Miss Massachusetts. Nancy Ann Fleming, Miss Michigan. Ann Barrington Herring, Miss North Carolina. Edith Sandra Browning, Miss South Carolina. Marion Faye Walker, Miss Utah. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the semifinalists in swimsuits. I think you will all agree that the task of selecting only one Miss America from all of these lovely ladies is a very difficult task indeed, but one that our distinguished panel of judges, I'm sure, can cope with. May I present them to you now? Our first lady is a columnist, publisher of children's books, wife of another distinguished member of our panel, Phyllis Mrs. Bennett Cerf. Thank you, sir. Chairman of the National Panhellenic Council, Ernestine Block Grigsby. Miss Grigsby. America's foremost choreographer, artistic director of the New York City Ballet, Mr. George Balanchine. The editor of McCall's magazine, Mr. Herbert Mays. One of America's most successful artists and magazine illustrators, Mr. Colby Whitmore. Each year, the Miss America Pageant awards more than $40,000 in educational scholarships. These awards are given not only to the Miss Americas and to the 10 semifinalists, but to many of the non-finalists as well. It is now my pleasure to introduce the remaining members of our distinguished panel of judges who will present $1,000 scholarships to the non-finalist talent winners. First, the president of the American National Theater and Academy and America's beloved actress, Miss Peggy Wood.
It is my privilege to be here and my pleasure to give the award for the best dramatic presentation of the Miss America contest to Miss Chicago, Miss Margaret McDowell.
Thank you, Miss Wood. And now to make our next award, the glamorous mezzo-soprano of the world stages, star of the Metropolitan Opera, Miss Blanche Thiebaum.
Thank you very much. I have a dual duty and a dual pleasure this evening. I am to present 2 awards to 2 extremely talented and lovely young women whom you will not, unfortunately, have the opportunity to see and hear perform tonight. The first category, the most talented classical singer, Miss Rosemary Doolin, Miss Oregon.
Rosie is from Portland, Oregon. She's 19 years old.
Now, for the most talented dancer, Mary Cage Moore, Miss Texas.
5 feet 7 of loveliness, sophomore Southern Methodist.
The director of artists and repertoire for Columbia Records and a recording artist in his own right, now to present the next award, Mr. Mitch Miller.
Thank you, Bert. Mine is also a double pleasure. First, as a special scholarship award to the very talented and most popular singer, Iris Elaine Thirlwell, Miss Canada.
She's from Northtown, Toronto.
And the most talented musical variety artist, a pixie from Maine, Miss Maine Sally Ann Robinson.
Sally's a junior at the University of Maine.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now, distinguished television producer of such outstanding television successes as What's My Line, I've Got a Secret, and The Price is Right, Mr. Mark Goodson.
Thank you. I would like to present 2 scholarship awards in the category known as Special Talent. First, in the field of design, to Vicki Joyce Nutter, Miss Illinois. And in the field of art, to another talented lady, Patricia Ann McRaney, Miss Mississippi.
These Mississippi girls do very well here.
And now to present our next award, the president of Random House and anchor man on What's My Line, Mr. Bennett Cerf.
It's my privilege to present one of the most coveted awards of the entire pageant, because this award is not chosen by the austere judges, but by the girls themselves. The girls in this contest have selected as Miss Congeniality for this pageant Miss Susan Jane Talbot, Miss New York State.
I was present at the awarding of that Miss Congeniality Award this afternoon. You've never seen a more thrilled girl in your life. Now, let's all join in a vote of confidence for all our judges for the difficult job that lies ahead.
You know, these talent winners should be very proud, Marilyn, because the judges down there are very tough to please.
Well, Doug, you can be sure that the 10 semifinalists will be doing their very best in the talent competition, which will take place right after we hear from Lee Phillip with something new from the Tony Company.
Hello, I'm Lee Phillip, and here at the Miss America pageant, we're going to meet 2 modern Cinderellas, and they're going to a ball. But that's not the reason for these balloons. These are a clue to today's hairstyles. And I'm sure you've noticed the hairstyles are round, just like a balloon, all full and puffy like mine. And you'll find the girls who really know fashion and beauty are wearing their hair rounder and puffier. Girls like our present Miss America, Miss Linda Lee Mead, and with her is Miss America of 1956, Sharon K. Ritchie. Don't they look lovely in their Everglaze gowns by Seal Chapman and Fontaine? And look at their hairstyles. Yes, the new full puffy look. And you'll be wearing it too, because now puff can be permanent. Yes, here's permanent puff for your hair. It's hidden body, and only Tony has it. Because only Tony gives you these 3 waving lotions. One exactly right for your type of hair. Plus, Tony's special no-mix neutralizer, creamy and concentrated. The result is hidden body, permanent puff for your hair. And it's more necessary today than ever before. Right, Sharon Kay?
Right, Lee. You see, a hairstyle that's puffed up like this sometimes wants to go flat, but not with Tony's hidden body wave. Here's what hidden body does. Makes your hair hold a puff permanently. It's really necessary for today's hairstyles.
Why not give your hair permanent puff? Try Tony's hidden body wave. Remember, no other permanent, home or beauty shop has this hidden body. Only Tony.
Let's go right down to the great stage and listen to Bert Parks as he introduces the first semi-finalist in the important talent competition.
During this week, we have had a number of beautiful operatic arias, beautifully sung. Tonight, the representative of the Beehive State is going to perform the waltz aria from Mireille by Gounod. This is Marion Walker, Miss Utah. Let's welcome her, Walker. Maybe we didn't welcome her warmly enough. Miss Utah, let's try it again. There she is. Miss Utah. I know that was quite a thrill for Miss Utah, too. From the brain center of our nation comes a young lady with a philosophy for those with little brains and little talent. You're going to sing one of the hits from Damn Yankees. The representative of our capital city, Ruth Ray, Miss District of Columbia.
I took the zing out of the king of Siam. I took the starch out of the sails of the Prince of Wales. It's no great art getting the heart of a man on a silver platter. A little brain, a little talent with an emphasis on the latter. I made mincemeat out of a sweet young farmer. I knocked the fight out of a knight when I pierced his armor. And I'll bet I can upset every male in the Yale regatta. A little brain, a little talent with an emphasis on the latter. You've got to know just what to say and how to sit. You've got to know what game to play and how to play it. You've got to stack those decks with a couple of extra aces. And this queen has her aces in all the right places. I've done much more than that old bore, Delilah. I took the curl out of the hair of a millionaire. There is no trick, yet some pick who is cool. Just a little warmer, a little talent, a little brains with an emphasis on the former. You've got to know just what to do and how to do it. You've got to know what tea to brew and how to brew it. Delilah claimed a haircut made her man a weakling. But when she turned the lamps on, guess who was with Samson? Bring on that boy, he'll be a toy to Lola. Just one more taste she can erase with that old buffalo. What's my plan? Same as with any man. I'll use standard cata plus a little this and a little that with an emphasis on
Columbia. They're all wonderful. From the Hoosier State and its State University, a young lady to offer an aria from the Barber of Seville, Una Forte Poco Fa, to be sung by Tommy Lou Glaze, Miss Indiana.
Il mio cor ferito già ed in d'oro che giocò sì in d'oro mio sarà lo giurai la vincerò sì in d'oro mio sarà lo giurai la vincerò.
Indiana.
Tell me, Marilyn, you've been through all this. What's it like to perform on that big stage?
Well, Doug, it's a lot different from performing in the living room of a sorority house. But these girls have been performing their talent for months and months, and it certainly shows tonight. We'll see more of the talent performances right after this word from Oldsmobile.
Let the trumpets shout. Let the drums beat out. Strike up the band. Now's the time to deal on a 1960 Oldsmobile. Yes, right now, your dealer is in a September selling mood, ready to trade. He still has a good selection of 1960 rockets, priced just right for you. Thrifty, dynamic 88s, spirited Super 88s, and luxurious 98s. Many colors and models to choose from. Convertibles, holiday hardtops, sedans, Fiesta station wagons. Pick the rocket that fits your pocket. For right now, you can make the deal of a lifetime on a new Oldsmobile. Whichever model you choose, you'll be getting the best buy in the medium price class. For nothing on the road can match the get up and go of a rocket. The smart, good looks of styling you know will stay in style, and the quality that Oldsmobile is famous for. Remember, if you've been wanting to join the Olds Parade, September is the month to do it. The best time for the best buy. See your dealer first thing next week while they last. Get a $1 deal on a 1960 Rocket Oldsmobile.
The semi-final competition in the Miss America pageant is about to continue, so let's go back to Bert Parks.
And next, a young lady who is going to demonstrate some of the fashions which she herself created. She is a representative of the Wolverine State, Nancy Ann Fleming, Miss Michigan. Sew something?
No, I'm not. I'm going to do a striptease. In reverse. Oh, would you see that I had some appropriate music? I have to go behind the screen, but I'll be right out. I'm all ready. I'm coming out now. Well, I've done my striptease right down to the basics. My basic dress. I like to design my own patterns. But it's wiser for beginners to use printed ones. Whether you're a working girl working or a working girl on vacation, you'll soon find that a girl's best friend is her basic dress. All it takes is a little imagination and a flair for sewing. I've added a white sailor collar trimmed with navy blue braids, accented this with a red tie, bright red stars, and I'm ready for a day at the office or with gloves for hours of pleasurable traveling. This will look as crisp and cool at 5 o'clock as it does at 9. But whether working or vacationing, an invitation to tea requires a slightly more sophisticated ensemble. So I'll remove this collar and choose instead a matching bolero jacket. A word of warning, a complicated jacket is no project for beginners. My sister started with a jacket, and she hasn't sewn since. White gloves. No, this isn't a life preserver. It's my hat. And this is a fake. It was a travel kit until I covered it with matching fabric. Suppose a dinner date follows tea. Sounds as if I'm always eating. Shall we let them in on a little secret? We girls don't need to keep our escorts waiting for hours while we dress. We just like to. Actually, the simple addition of colorful costume jewelry, such as these sparkling pink earrings, a necklace, such as these 3 strands of sparkling crystal, gloves of evening length, and I'm ready to venture forth for the 3rd time today in the same dress, perfect for a dinner date. Maybe I'm spending my vacation at a resort hotel, and as I finish dinner, the orchestra begins to play. I know what I'll do. I'll skip up to my room, Hook on a boucan overskirt made of white nylon, blocked with pink velvet, and sprinkled with sparkling rhinestones. Be ready to float down again in less than a minute, ready to dance all night. I hope that I've been able to show you why a girl with a desire to sew and a flair for design might have this inscribed on her calling card. Have basic dress. Will travel.
Miss Michigan. Thank you. Now, the representative of the Cotton State is going to sing one of Puccini's best-loved arias. In the fourth and final act of La Bohème, the dying Mimi sings her farewell to her lover, Rudolfo. Addio. She will be accompanied by David McDaniel at the Andreas Christensen. This is Teresa Rinaldi, Miss Alabama.
Addio.
Quite a different change in pace, I think you will acknowledge, for this next display of talent in the Miss America contest. The next young lady with ruffled pinafore and with great admiration for her sister Kate is the representative of the Palmetto State, Sandra Browning, Miss South Carolina.
You mean Kate? That's right. Well, she's not around, but I'm available. You can't shimmy like Kate. Gee, oh, well, shimmy like my sister Kate. She shares a knock of jelly on a plate. My mama wanted to know last night why all the boys treat sister Kate so nice. And every boy in the neighborhood knows that she can shimmy and it's understood. I know I'm late, but I'll be up to date when I can shimmy like my sister Kate. Sweet papa, shimmy like my sister Kate. I want to show you.
Well, go ahead.
Wow! Now I can shimmy like my sister Kate. I shimmy like the jelly on a plate. My mama wanted to know last night why all the boys are treating me so right. And every boy in the neighborhood knows that I can shimmy and it's understood. I guess I've been late, but I'm up to date. 'Cause I can shake it, break it, throw it around. 'Cause I can shimmy like my sister Kate.
South Carolina. Glad to see you all like waltzes. Next in our talent competition, ladies and gentlemen, we will hear two songs by Jerome Kern for the famous musical which he based on a river showboat, to be sung by the representative of the Bay State. The songs are Bill and Can't Help Loving That Man. The singer is Brenda Crobo, Miss Massachusetts.
I used to dream that I would discover the perfect lover someday. I knew I'd recognize him if ever he came round my way. I always used to fancy that he'd be one of a godlike kind of men, with a giant brain and a noble head, like the heroes born in the books I read. But along came Bill, who's not the type at all. You meet him on the street and never notice him. His form and face, his manly grace world without him ain't come home to me. Can't help loving that man. I can't explain. It's surely not his grace that makes me thrill. I love him because I don't know, because he's just
With only 3 more talent performances to go, you can just feel the tension rise here in Convention Hall.
Surely can, and I'll guarantee you there are some butterflies back of the curtain, too. We'll see the remaining talent performances by Miss Idaho, Miss North Carolina, and Miss California right after this word from Oldsmobile.
If you enjoy doing big things on a budget, then right now is the time for you to go over to Olds. Prices are right, and your Oldsmobile dealer is ready to trade. He still has a good selection of 1960 rockets to choose from, including dollar-saving Dynamic 88s. You not only save when you buy a Dynamic 88 now, you'll save every mile you travel, because every Dynamic 88 is powered by a regular rocket engine that thrives on lower-cost regular gas. Saves you about $1 bill on every fill. See your Oldsmobile dealer's selection of Dynamic 88s, Super 88s, and 98s next week while they last. Now, during September, is the best time to make the best buy. Time to make a deal on a 1960 Oldsmobile. The Miss America pageant will continue immediately following station identification.
Eartha Kitt and Noel Adam headline Ed Sullivan's All-Star Variety Show tomorrow on the CBS television network.
Band, we're back at Convention Hall, Atlantic City, where the last 3 performances in the semifinal talent competition are about to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you probably know, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday were elimination contests in the various categories of the Miss America pageant. And in talent, a lovely lady from Pocatello sang a song entitled If I Were on the Stage, made very famous by Judy Garland. We want to bring her out here tonight to present it to you because, unfortunately, in the last day, this lovely lady has contracted laryngitis. But she wanted to come out and at least talk to you. This will in no way disqualify her for the Miss America pageant. The judges have heard her song on another evening. So let's welcome warmly Marlene Ray Coleman, Miss Idaho. Don't believe her, us, listen.
Mr. Parks, I just realized this evening what an exciting and thrilling experience it is to be chosen as one of the semifinalists in the 1960 Miss America pageant. I'm so very happy and proud that I can represent my state of Idaho in this capacity. But misfortune came along in the form of acute laryngitis last Thursday evening, and therefore I won't be able to sing for you tonight. I was thinking perhaps it might be some of that refreshing Atlantic Ocean air. Last Thursday evening, I sang If I Were on the Stage by Victor Herbert. And now, once again, here I am, standing on this stage, but I can't sing. I regret this very much because it is the one gift that God has given me to give to others. I've enjoyed my week so much here at Atlantic City. I've gathered so many precious memories that I'm going to take home to my wonderful friends and associates in Pocatello, Idaho, my wonderful state. Thank you.
Miss Idaho, ladies and gentlemen. The representative of the Tar Heel State has chosen one of the charming songs written by Rodgers and Hammerstein for the Trapp family in the biographical stage musical, The Sound of Music. This is Anne Herring, Miss North Carolina.
High on a hill, lonely goatherd, lady, order, hee-haw. Was a voice, lonely goatherd, lady, order, spoke in a town that was quite remote, heard, lady, order, hee-haw. Lusty and clear from the goatbird's throat, heard, lady, order, ho, ho, lady, hee-haw, ho, ho, lady, ho, lay, ho, ho, lady, ho, hee-haw, lady, ho, hee-haw, lay. A prince on a bridge on a castle moat, heard, lady, order, hee-haw. Men on the road with a load to tote, heard, lady, order, men in the midst of a table d'oat, heard, lady, order, hee-haw. Men drinking beer with the foam afloat, heard, lady, order, ho, ho, lady, ho, hee-haw, ho, ho, lady, ho, lay, ho, ho, lady, ho, hee-haw, lady, ho, hee-haw, lay. Tap, dear, day, lady, lee-haw, lady, oh, lady, hee-haw. What you at to become a tree, oh, lady, order, ho, ho, lady, ho, hee-haw, ho, ho, lady, ho, lay, ho, ho, lady, ho, hee-haw, lady, ho, hee-haw, lay. Dear Bailey, lady, lee-haw, lady, oh, lady, hee-haw. What you at to become a tree, oh, lady, order, lady, order, lady, order, lady, order, lady,
Thank you, and now, a golden voice from the Golden State, who's going to sing Love is Where You Find It. This is Suzanne Marie Remo, Miss California.
Love is where you find it. Don't be blinded. It's all around you, everywhere. Take a chance now, for romance now. Tell someone that you care. Spring love these where you find it. Don't be blinded, it's all around you,
Well, Marilyn, the semifinals are over. Would you be willing to go out on a limb and pick a winner?
Not on your life, Doug. As a matter of fact, not even the 11 judges are being asked to make that decision yet. Incidentally, to arrive at the 5 finalists, the judges add a personality category to the categories of evening gown, swimsuit, and talent. Now, all categories have equal weight. Right now, the judges are marking their ballots, which will then be tabulated to determine the 5 finalists. We'll learn who these 5 lucky girls are right after this word from Oldsmobile.
Now's the time for you to join the Rocket Circle, the ever-growing circle of smart buyers who are going over to Oldsmobile this month. Yes, more and more people are discovering that Olds is the best buy in the medium price class, and that right now is the best time to buy. Now, when prices are right and your dealer is ready to trade, and you can still choose from a good selection of colors and models. If you're the type who has always longed for the zip and go that Oldsmobile is so famous for, then now, during these last few weeks of September, is the time to realize your dream. Time to take advantage of a $1 deal on a 60 Oldsmobile. Whether you select a thrifty Dynamic 88, a spirited Super 88, or a glamorous 98 like this, you'll be proud of your new Oldsmobile and doubly proud of the good year-end deal you made. Yes, now's the time to take the wheel of a new Oldsmobile. Rocket test it, pocket test it. It costs far less than you'd guess to join the Rocket Circle. And now is the smart time to buy your new Oldsmobile. See your dealer next week for sure.
Now back to the great stage and the master of ceremonies for the Miss America pageant, Bert Parks.
Whoever is selected Miss America, and we will know her name in just a few minutes, she and the 53 other participants in the Miss America contest automatically become members of the Miss America sorority, which is known as Mu Alpha Sigma, which is having its first national convention right here in Atlantic City this week. Right now, 4 of the sisters, Lee Merriweather, Marion Mobley, Sharon Ritchie, and Marion McKnight, are about to go into their act, the Miss America Sisters.
Miss America's sisters, Miss America's sisters, even though we're just sisters, under the skin, it's a pleasure to be here, with our family tree here, always ready to welcome whoever will win. Our family's the same as every other family, except that we're the only family we know that can add a full-grown sister every year. Miss America's sisters, Miss America's sisters, even though we're just sisters, under the skin. I remember sitting up here and wondering if my ticket was one way. I remember you giving me the crown in my excitement, almost fell off the runway. I remember Mitch listening to me sing, and I felt like saying, put that gun away. As the seconds ticked by, and we wondered which one it was. And then they sang their song.
Miss America,
thinking, is this real? Will I crash down to earth like a meteor? I remember just making my speech and then thinking, oh, how I should have been wittier. I remember one little boy of 4 who yelled, my Aunt Betsy is prettier. It was all for the good, knock on wood, everything turned out fine for us. Or when they sing our song,
Miss America.
that old lang syne for us, it made us song. Miss America, sisters, Miss America, sisters, though we aren't related, still we're fated to be in the growingest, loveliest
Miss America's retained not only their beauty and charm, but from the evidence we've seen, their talent as well. What's the good word there, Marilyn?
We've just received word that we can expect the names of the 5 finalists to be announced in a matter of seconds. So stay with us. We'll be right back after a word about a great new television advance from Philco.
When a Philco moves in, your TV troubles move. Out, out, out.
New Philco Cool Chassis TV beats the heat, major cause of all TV breakdowns. Here's why. Old-fashioned TV chassis have a maze of parts underneath. When these parts get hot, the heat is trapped. It builds up and burns out delicate components. Only Philco has patented cool chassis construction. There are no parts underneath, no heat traps. Philco's exclusive airflow chassis base lets the air flow up and away. And that means you get up to 76% longer TV life with Philco Cool Chassis TV. See patented Philco Cool Chassis TV in the exclusive new Miss America series in traditional, Danish modern, or colonial Mastercraft cabinetry. Available with Philco direct-to-wireless remote control. Choose Philco Cool Chassis TV from a variety of widescreen 23-inch overall diagonal consoles and the brand new super-powered compact 19s. Remember, when a Philco moves in, your TV troubles move out. See patented Philco Cool Chassis TV at your dealers soon.
And now let's go quickly down to the stage where Bert Parks is about to announce the 5 finalists in the Miss America pageant.
May I have the names of the 5 finalists, please? The 5 finalists. As I call your name, ladies, please be seated in the 5 chairs. Suzanne Remo, Miss California. Ruth Ray, Miss District of Columbia. Tommy Lou Glaze, Miss Indiana. Nancy Ann Fleming, Miss Michigan. Ann Carrington Herring, Miss North Carolina. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the most important test of all. Miss America must not only be beautiful, and talented, but she must have poise and self-assurance to be able to ask the many difficult questions that may be asked her by the press and at public gatherings. In the jar which you see in front of you, marked A, are a number of frivolous questions. In the next, marked B, are questions of a more serious nature. Each of these young ladies will be given time to answer each of these questions. Careful consideration will be given to the content and delivery of her answer. Now, may we begin? May I call first, in the order in which they were called, in the 5 finalists. Suzanne Remo, Miss California. Would you come up to our microphone, please, Miss California? That's a long trip, isn't it? Yeah. Suzanne, in all the time since we've been here, I haven't had a chance to say hello. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Just fine, thank you.
Would you be, by the way, what city in California are you from?
I'm from San Diego.
San Diego. Would you be good enough to take one question out of the box marked A? She went to the bottom of the pile. Let's see what this question. I haven't seen these either. I will ask you the question. Take a few seconds and answer. At a country club dance, you unexpectedly come across your date kissing your best girlfriend. You see them and they don't see you. What would you do?
Well, if I had been going with this boy long enough, I would have enough faith in him to believe that he loved me enough that this was a kiss in fun and not a meaningful kiss, and I would merely shrug it off as something that just happens.
I've got to learn what those fun kisses are, I'll tell you. Now let's look in number B. Would you look at letter B, take one out for me, please? You want me? No, you go ahead. Thank you. Now this is a question of a more serious nature. All right? The question is, this is a presidential election year. If a qualified woman were running for president, how would you feel about voting for her and why?
If the men candidates running were qualified, I feel I would vote against her. My reasons being that women are very high-strung and emotional people. They aren't reliable enough when it comes to making a decision, a snap decision. I believe that a man in such a predicament would be able to make a more justifiable and better decision. And for this reason, I would vote for the man.
Thank you, Miss California. Next, Miss District of Columbia, please come up. And this, of course, is Ruth Ray. Ruth, how are you?
Fine.
Nice to see you.
Thank
I was going to ask you what city in D.C. are you from? That would have really done it, wouldn't it?
That's a good question.
Yes, that is a good question. Ruth, you know that in this box marked A are the frivolous questions which I would like you to pick first.
All right.
Let's see how frivolous this one is.
All right.
You been having fun this week?
Yes, sort of, yes.
Sort of? Oh, now let's see. You have a crush on an attractive man. He is not aware of this. How would you let him know?
Well, I don't think that would really be too difficult. When you like someone, it's not too hard to show them that you do by simply being nice to them and polite and courteous and giving them as much of yourself and your attention and your time as you possibly can. It's not too hard to let people know that you like them when you really do.
Very good. All right, now would you take one out of B? This is the question of a more serious nature. The question is, what in your opinion, constitutes the ideal wife? What, in your opinion, constitutes the ideal wife? I suppose.
Well, I imagine that the ideal wife depends entirely on the viewpoint of the husband. However, I think that to be an ideal wife, you must also be an ideal mother, if you are fortunate enough to have children. I think that a mother and a wife must be responsible, definitely, and, they must just be good women. They must be able to accept responsibilities and to be generous and giving, loving their children and loving their husbands, and just in general, being the best person and giving the most of themselves that they very possibly can.
Thank you, Miss District of Columbia. Thank you. Miss India. Next we have Tommy Lou Glaze. Tommy Lou Glaze, how are you? You know, I almost did a terrible thing to this child. In the first announcement of the 10 semifinalists, I had forgotten and skipped over.
I've decided to forgive you, though.
Thank you very much. Now, would you reach in A box, please, and pick out a frivolous question? Thank you. Now, let's see what we have here in the frivolous line. You in a frivolous mood?
Oh, wow.
Good. Let's see. Your 14-year-old sister has a crush on your best boyfriend. Your parents are not at home. He has come to the house for a date, and she won't leave. How do you get rid of her? Good luck.
Thank you. How would I get rid of my sister? Well, my sister, I'm sure, in the first place, wouldn't act that way and stay around my boyfriend. I think I would just politely, if it would happen, though, politely tell her to go make my bed or something of this nature, and then leave.
You do have a sister?
No, that's just it.
Oh, well, that's fine.
And I don't know how a sister would react. I really don't.
Well, now, would you look in the B box, please, for a more serious question? Very difficult to get rid of a sister you don't have, you know, when you think about it. All right, now, Miss Indiana, this question. You are 21 years old, we're assuming. You are in love, and you want to marry. Your parents oppose the man of your choice. How would you handle this situation?
This situation could be handled very smoothly because I feel that my family knows much more than I know. They've lived longer, they've experienced more, and I have faith in my family, and I follow what they think is right, as long as it is proven that it is right. Therefore, I would follow my mother's judgment and break up with him if she had good, sound reasons, and I'm sure she would.
Thank you, Miss India. Thank you. Next, Miss Michigan, would you come and join us, please? This is Nancy Ann Fleming, Miss Michigan. You all relaxed, comfortable?
Oh, yes, I'm getting
Good. What part of Michigan are you from?
I'm from the west coast of Michigan on Lake Michigan. The town is named Montague.
Montague, Michigan.
Yes.
What's the population?
About 3,500.
Oh, good town. Any more at home?
Oh, yes, I have 3 younger sisters and 2 younger brothers.
As pretty as you? I don't mean the brothers. I mean, you know. The sisters.
Oh, I think they're little dolls.
Oh, that's good. Would you select a frivolous question out of the box A? Thank you. Now we'll see what's in store for you, Nancy Ann. This was sealed in pretty good. Your question is, you are walking down the runway in swimsuit competition, and the heel of your shoe breaks off. What would you do?
Well, I think it's far more natural to walk barefoot in a swimsuit, so I just kick the other one off and walk that way.
I pass. That's all you can say. All right, can we go on to B, please? This of a question of more serious nature. Take a few seconds to think about this, if you like. Some sociologists say that American women are usurping the place of the male in American life and have become too dominant. Do you agree or disagree and why?
I do agree with that. I believe that there are far too many women in the working world. I can see many cases where this is a necessary arrangement, but I do feel that a woman's place is in the home with her husband and with her children, and then after she has completed that phase of her life, then if she wants to go into the world and become more dominant in the man's world or the working world, then that's fine. But as a young woman, I believe her place is with her family.
Miss North Carolina. And finally, among our 5 finalists, this is Ann Tarrington Herring from North Carolina. How do you do?
How do you do?
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
You know, these dresses puff out so much you can't get too close to the microphone. What part of North Carolina do you come from?
I'm from the Piedmont part of North Carolina, from a town, or rather I should say a city called Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem. I'm sure we've all heard of it. And do you have a large family?
Oh, yes, 3 brothers.
Oh, boy. All older than you?
No, 2 older and 1 younger.
They try to boss you around a little bit?
Well, brothers will be brothers.
Yes, they will. Now, would you reach into the A container, please, for the question? Thank you. This is one of, as you know, of a serious nature. I mean, a frivolous nature, and here it is. What was the most amusing experience that happened to you during the pageant? The most amusing experience.
Well, being from North Carolina, when we order sweet milk, we get sweet milk. But while I was here in Atlantic City, I ordered sweet milk one time, and the waitress said, "I'm sorry, but we don't have sweet milk, but we have buttermilk, and we have chocolate milk, and we have skimmed milk. Will any of those be all right?" And I said, "Well, do you just have just plain milk?" And she said, "Oh, yes, we have milk."
Getting so bad you got to bring your own cow wherever you go. Now, in the more serious questions, please. This is Miss North Carolina, and let's see what we have in store for you here. Your question is, after you are married, your husband has the choice of a job in a big city or a small town other than the one in which you now live. Which would you choose and why? The choice of a job in a big city or a small town other than the one in which you now live.
I was brought up in a small town. I moved to a larger city. I know what both of them are like, and I loved both of them. If the choice were mine, I wouldn't make it. For this is my husband's job, and the one he chooses would be perfectly all right with me.
Thank you. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, and one of these ladies will be this year's Cinderella, Miss America, for 1961.
Well, now the midnight hour is indeed only moments away, and of course the reign of Linda Lee Mead is about to draw to a close. For one of the 5 finalists, a Cinderella year as Miss America 1961 is about to begin. We'll see this exciting moment shortly. An exciting year is also about to begin for people who love the sound and appreciate the sound of music, as Nelson Case tells us now.
Now, from Philco, a completely new sound in music. The Philco Reverbophonic Sound System. It brings you a new dimension in sound reproduction. Here's why. Imagine organ music played where there are no walls or ceilings to add reverberation. Well, it would sound flat, like this. But add reverberation, add Philco Reverb, and listen to what happens. Thanks to Philco Reverb, here's a new world of home entertainment for you to discover. First came high fidelity, then came stereo. And now, Philco brings you Reverb, the step beyond stereo. Well, there are no new records to buy. Every record you own, even AM or FM radio, comes thrillingly alive. And you can add as much or as little reverb as you choose. Before you buy any new phonograph, hear the wonderful world of Philco Reverb, the step beyond stereo. Your Philco dealer is ready to demonstrate exclusive new Philco Reverb now. See him soon and thrill to a new dimension in music. Philco Reverb.
And now down on the runway, making her final official appearance, Linda Mead, Miss America 1960.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. In the last few weeks, many people acquainted with the Cinderella tradition, which we observe this midnight, have asked me to describe my wonderful year as Miss America. Obviously, I could not do it tonight, for time and our friends from CBS would never allow the long discourse which would be necessary to describe the fullest and finest year that could be given an American girl. I have often wished that I could put my gratitude, my thoughts, into a single word. I've thought of many. I've thought of the word education to describe this year, for surely it has been that. An education more extensive than one could receive in years of college. For I have seen firsthand many of the places, people, and things I'd only studied about before. I've thought of the word inspiration and many others that truly do describe this year, but I think to most accurately label this most significant event in my life, I would use the word challenge. 12 months ago, when I received the title of Miss America, I was ecstatic with the prospect of a year in which I would travel the length and breadth of this country, see and do things I'd only dreamed before. The glamour, the excitement were simply dazzling. Yet how little I knew then of the real rewards of a year as Miss America. For I can surely say that these fondest dreams have been far surpassed. Yet there has been so much more. For in the last 12 months, I have witnessed more than ever before in my life the great wealth of kindness that prevails in our land. I have had the opportunity of working all over the nation with civic organizations, men and women who are working not for themselves, but unselfishly for others. And I remember what a revelation it was to learn that industrial organizations, such as our 5 national sponsors, poured thousands of dollars each year into the Miss America Scholarship Fund, with their greatest reward being the knowledge that our generation will have advantages and privileges that theirs perhaps did not. And how unspeakably grateful I am for the overwhelming kindness I have received from the people of my state of Mississippi and from Ole Miss, the university that I originally represented, and of course from you wonderful people here in Atlantic City who, after all, have made all this possible. And with each realization, I have become, through the year, increasingly aware of the challenge to earn the title that I was lucky enough to win. Tonight, someone else will receive the coveted title of Miss America, and with that title, the greatest opportunity that can be given an American girl. For she, For every hour of one glorious year represents America, the greatest country on earth.
By the reception she has just received here in Convention Hall, Linda Meade was an extremely popular Miss America. Her gracious reign has reflected credit on her title as well as her state. And I'm sure that the Cinderella story she has lived during the past year will end with the customary words, "She lived happily ever after." We'll meet Linda's successor, Miss America for 1961, right after this word from Philco.
My goodness, look at all those parts underneath.
That's why these old-fashioned hot chassis sets break down so often, lady.
Hot chassis?
Sure. You see all these parts jammed in underneath? When they get hot, the heat is trapped. It builds up, burns out delicate components.
Does that happen to all TV sets?
No, ma'am. When Philco moves in, your TV troubles move out. Only Philco has patented cool chassis construction. There are no parts underneath, no heat traps. Philco's exclusive airflow chassis base lets air flow up and away.
Is that why Philco says your TV troubles move out?
Yes, ma'am. Philco cool chassis sets give you up to 76% more TV life.
Are you fed up with TV troubles, breakdowns, repairs? Well, it's a fact. When Philco moves in, your TV troubles move out. Now's the time to trade for a Philco cool chassis TV, like one of these magnificent consoles from the Philco Miss America series in traditional, Danish modern, or colonial Mastercraft cabinetry. Available with Philco Directa wireless remote control. Choose your Philco cool chassis TV from a variety of widescreen 19-inch overall diagonal compacts, the new 23-inch consoles, and the magnificent new Philco stereo theater. See them all at your Philco dealers now.
And now, while we're waiting for Bert Parks, let's take a last look at the 5 finalists in the Miss America contest. First of all, Miss North Carolina, Miss Michigan, Miss Indiana, Miss District of Columbia, Miss California. One of them, in just a few moments, will be named Miss America of 1961. And now, here comes Bert Parks with a decision that we've all been waiting for.
Now, may I have the decision of the judges? The 4th runner-up, Tommy Lou Glaze, Miss Indiana. The 3rd runner-up, Ruth Ray, Miss District of Columbia. Second runner-up, Ann Farrington Herring, Miss North Carolina. for the two most important announcements, the names of the first runner-up and of Miss America of 1961. It is important to understand that if for any reason the new Miss America should be unable to fulfill her duties, her position should be taken by the first runner-up. She is the second most important person in this year's pageant. And now for their names. The first runner-up, Suzanne Marie Remo, Miss California, Miss America. Michigan. Could you bring her over, please? Congratulations. Miss Michigan, while you are being prepared, your subjects are out there waiting for you. We are now going to sing for you your song as soon as you're ready. Congratulations.
Miss Michigan is the second Miss America from her state. In 1939, Patricia Donnelly won the title.
Crown on Miss America's head.
Nancy Ann Fleming of Montague, Michigan, the new Miss America, 61. Being congratulated by Lenora Slaughter.
For she may turn out to be the queen of femininity. There she is, Miss America. There she is, your ideal, with so many beauties. She took the town by storm with her all-American face and form, and there she is, walking on air. She is, fairest of the fair. She is, Miss
A truly beautiful and talented Miss America. Miss Michigans are noted for unusual displays of talent. Last year's Miss Michigan won a talent prize for an archery demonstration. Nancy Ann Fleming, this year's Miss America, gave a fashion display. But in her home, she is still just a babysitter for her two brothers and three sisters, all of whom are dolls by her own description of them this evening. Indeed. Tonight's chapter in our Cinderella story is over. It's ended very happily with the announcement that Nancy Fleming of Montague, Michigan, is Miss America for 1961. Fairy tales, you know, really never end. During her 12-month reign as Miss America, Miss Michigan will travel some 150,000 miles in this country and abroad. And I, for one, have no doubt that wherever she goes, her beauty, her talent, and her charm will be appreciated just as much as they have been here tonight. somewhere, perhaps even watching tonight, there is another girl who next year will be Miss Cinderella. Before we go, let's go backstage just for a moment for a quick hello to the new Miss America with Marilyn Vanderbilt. Marilyn?
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Well, I guess Miss America...